So my criteria would
remove the bias.
but that's it. We can't remove the bias.
So in that case, let's mask it the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
way.
Are we still on camera? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Let's mask it the other way. So it's obvious that you started by saying that logic, and then you said that there is the green or yellow glasses.
Yeah.
But assuming that there is one.
Are you a
truth.
Muslim? Are you a Muslim?
I'm a Muslim.
You're a nice Muslim as well.
But assuming that there is one truth. There is one truth. Okay? This glass is green. Everyone knows that it is green. I can see it with some glasses and I've seen black. Others they can see it as white, but it is green.
Yeah.
So assuming you want to get to this truth and you don't want to be biased by this circular thinking.
Right.
What criteria you would use?
Right, you use logic, yeah.
Forget about the logic.
You use logic, but the criteria has to be revelation, right? We're talking about the nature of God. We're talking about.
So you are saying revelation. So we agree that there is one God. Right. And you are saying that what has been revealed by this God should be the criteria, right?
Yeah. Revelation is higher than reason, bro.
Yeah. I understand. Even us Muslims, we have some passages where we say that if reasoning or logic, I don't know the difference, would be the criteria, we would not have done this. Okay?
Yeah.
But again, from my logic, I can see that Islam is a logic.
Right.
Let's say like this. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to defend Islam or neither attack Christianity. My best friends are Christians and the others are Muslims.
Okay.
I want just to know, from your perspective, if revelation is the criteria.
Right.
It is the criteria, right?
I've got it. Listen.
My question to you is how to know that this revelation is true and the other is wrong.
Right. So here's the Quran, right? Here's the Bible, right? You're a Muslim, and you say he asked me about the Bible, didn't he?
Forget about it.
No, but
Forget about
right,
it.
no.
I'm not speaking about it.
All right, but
I'm speaking about you
all right,
and how.
I'm going to explain this, right? Someone comes to me and asks me about the Bible as a Muslim, right? And he says, I want to be objective and.
Forget about it. No,
let me finish, brother.
No.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me explain.
Just forget about what he spoke.
I know, but let me explain,
No, let's start a new page. You said that it is revelation, right?
Right.
So the revelation for Christian is the Bible.
Right.
The revelation for the Jews is the Talmud, right? The revelation for the Islams is the Quran.
Right.
All these, each person is claiming that it is a revelation.
Right.
I am agnostic. How would know that this is a revelation?
Right. First of all, you're doing what he's doing. No, listen. I'm not talking. I'm not.
About the criteria.
I'm going to tell you about the criteria with an agnostic. But let me get to the criteria with the Muslim.
No. Get the agnostic.
No, because no. Right? Because you're not agnostic. You're Muslim.
I'm asking you if I am an agnostic.
Yeah, but you're not. Listen. He was not an agnostic. He was a Muslim. Listen. You're a Muslim. Now let me do the Muslim thing, then I'll do the agnostic thing, right? The Muslim says, I'm coming with logic to deal with the Bible.
Yeah.
Let's be objective, right? Yeah. As an agnostic. He's like pretending to be an agnostic, but he's a Muslim. Yeah. And he's using logic. And my argument to him is, when you read that Bible and you start to argue,
you will find that there is some contradictions.
You're using this. Wait. So he's not being objective with his logic. He's actually using this. Okay. That's what he wouldn't face. That's why he said, I'm a Muslim. I asked him, are you a Muslim? He wouldn't answer, he left. Right, so we're finished. Now with the agnostic, right? Still. Listen, I'm going to explain. I'm going to give you an argument now.
But I'll be needing from you just to give me...
I'm going to give it to you.
I want to know what was my question.
Your question is, as an agnostic, what is my criteria to deal with the Bible?
No.
What?
Okay.
What?
So my criteria is that I have several revelations. I have Bahinda in Indian, I have Bible I have the Quran, and I have the Old Testament and the Talmud, and all these revelations. Each one is saying that this is revelations. No one has saw the miracles. These are all scriptures. that has been said over and over. Okay? What will be the criteria for me? Let's say that I will be reading everything.
Right. For
How would I say that I will be following the New Testament or the Old Testament?
Let me explain. There are two ways of knowing.
Yeah.
Right? There are presuppositions and there are evidences.
Okay.
Presuppositions are things that we can't prove, but they color the way we look at evidence.
Okay.
So, for example, let me explain.
I understand. Just to make it short. So the presuppositions they exist in all the scripture. So this is not a criteria.
No, you're not understanding. Let me explain. Two ways of knowing, right? Presuppositions. So when an atheist comes, a presupposition is there's no supernatural, right? So that's a presupposition. You can't prove it, right? Then there's evidences. You say there's a cup on the table. I say no, there isn't. You can show there's a cup on the table. So it's evidences, right, and presuppositions. Those two go together, right? He was not admitting.
What about him?
No, right. He was not admitting. So you come now as an agnostic, right? First of all, I deal with your presupposition. Okay. You say that you don't believe in God, right? And you're using reason. Listen. Let me show you.
In fact, so you did not answer my. You did not answer my question. I'm sorry for that. I'll try to say it.
You pretended to be an agnostic.
No. Pretend. I'm pretending that I have read all the revelation.
Right.
Okay. There is something good in the Bible, something good in the Quran, something good in the Talmud.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
But there is some contradiction in all these three.
Right.
Okay. Again, based on the fact that there is only one truth. How would I say that the truth exists in the Talmud and not in the New Testament?
Right. Well, let me.
See my question.
Let me answer.
Let's say that I have read everything.
Right. Well, let me answer.
Okay.
Let me answer. First of all, when you come to the Bible will challenge your presuppositions. So whatever your position is, how many books you've read, your method that you're using, the Bible will challenge that. So let's just, for argument's sake, let me show you. You're an atheist and you're using logic. I'll turn round to you and say, you're trying to critique the Bible with your logic, but your logic, is it material or immaterial? Mm-hmm. Right? Logic.
We'll be having the same.
Yeah, but
same ideology.
Let me finish, right? So the atheists, most of them will say they believe in scientific materialism, the material. So I'll say, look, you can't even read my Bible without accepting my worldview. For logic, my God's immaterial, right? Now they might say, yeah, but there are other gods immaterial. I say, okay, yeah, but you've got to admit that you can't explain logic and you're using it to critique the Bible. Now, then finally, then the next criteria.
Let me make it simple.
Let me finish. Jason, let me finish the final criteria. Final criteria is historical. So now you can read the Book of Mormon, you can read the Quran, you can read the Hindu scriptures and all these scriptures and the Bible and see which one accords with history. Okay. So for example, the Bible claims that Jesus lived, he died and rose again. The Quran says he did not. The Hindu Vedas say there's many gods that they came down and danced and they were all different gods. Yeah. So now you have to look at the history.
So facts.
So you look at the historical data from the book.
No, facts.
Yeah, but from the book and whether
the book everyone can say whatever he wants.
No, you can't. It's got to be in accord with internal evidence within the text.
So what you are saying, what you are saying is that assuming that I believe there's only one God. There is Allah, there is God.
Right.
Whatever. So there is one creator. Okay?
Right.
The Christian, they say that this creator is in three, Muslim say that it's one.
So you're coming as a Muslim now?
No, I'm saying what others are saying.
Right.
Okay? So assuming now there's a contradiction in that part. Whether God is three or whether God is one, right? Whether God is multiple like the Hindu, right? Okay. So now all I have as evidence is the scriptures.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now for me, what you are saying, just for me to understand, is if I want to see which scriptures is the best one, I need to see if this scripture is coherent with itself first.
Right, yeah.
And second, if this scripture is being approved by facts, not just words, by facts, by historical research, right? Yeah. This is what you're saying. So this would be the criteria for a person who is seeking the truth to go through it.
But even history is still influenced by your bias. So you
are saying that there is no way to...
No. So what I'm saying is what I'm saying
Jason.
is you need the right worldview. The right worldview. Yeah. It's like a jacket, right? You got a jacket there, and underneath you got a jumper, right? Yeah. Your jumper is the reasoning. Yeah. The jacket is your worldview, right? So your jumper is using reason, looking at history, but you still need the jacket of your worldview.
You are speaking about the face.
Yeah, this is the basic.
This is another story, because even the face
basic
exists
structure.
for Hindu, for Muslims, for Jews, for everyone. Even an agnostic has a face that God does not exist. So face exists everywhere. Again, I think what was really pity for me during this debate is that we stayed on the details. Where I was looking for a debate.
You wanted the details, right? But what would have happened to the brother here, right? What would have happened? You're honest, you're willing to have a dialogue. You're actually listening to me and I'm listening to you, right? Right? And you're being honest, you're being straight with me, right? I asked you if you're...
I think that if everyone thought that he wanted to trade
but he...
Everyone was on that contrary
he said to me, do you believe in logic, right? I never said I did not believe in logic.
I can rewind everything that you said and that you said. Okay.
But listen, what he was trying to do, right? He was wanting to look at the Bible with logic.
No,
that's what he wanted. He wanted to critique.
If I may, he started by establishing the criteria on which the discussion or the debate or the discussion wanted to be. So he started by saying the logic, and then you said the logic it might be biased by whether you are coming from Islam or which is true for now. Even if me myself I would disagree. Why? Because there is logic and logic. 1 + 1 = 2. But no one can tell me that.
But brother. But I was not. You see, I'm trained in. Wait a minute. I'm trained in epistemology, the theory of knowledge. Right. I know the theory of knowledge. I know the philosophy of theory of knowledge. So when he was doing what he was doing, he was very doing. He was let me just finish. What he was doing, it wouldn't pass a basic class in foundation. When he said, "I'm being logical," and let's use that as a criteria. I'm not going to jump in and say because I know he's a Muslim and I know that he is not. Listen, he is not being logical. He is using. Listen, let me finish.
But I understand.
And he's using the Quran, and he's not being honest.
He gave you rights, and I'll tell you where.
He gave me what? Sorry.
He gave you the right to disagree in the logic or to define it like you want it. So from his perspective, logic should be 1 + 1 = 2, and he wanted to bring his logic to make criticize
the Bible.
Right? And you directly put in the defense. So
but when I went on the Quran, he didn't like it. It showed he's not being objective.
If you want to remove aside the objective, what would be the criteria? And you said the revelation, right? You said the revelation.
The revelation is
exactly.
Right.
And I would love to continue in that criteria instead of just saying.
But he said he accused to me. Listen, let me say my piece because you keep interrupting me, right? He said to me that I don't want to use logic. That's what he said, right? And then he said, "How can I prove it?" Thinking he's trying to trick me. The point what I was trying to get to him is that there is no way on heaven and earth, as a Muslim debater, that he is going to look at the Bible objectively. He is steeped in the Quran, and that will influence his exegesis. Any argument about the Bible. And I wanted him to admit when he is using logic, it's rooted in the Quran, and he would not. He said, "Oh, we can go your way," but he was not engaging. He didn't repeat back to me what I said. Instead, he mocked me and said, "Oh, you don't want to use logic." I never said that. I said, "Yes, what I wanted to do, I'll talk about the Bible, but you've got to accept I'm doing it in my worldview. I'm using my logic, but in my worldview, and you're using logic in your worldview, then we can have a discussion." If he'd have said that, we could have proceeded. He wouldn't admit it. You know why? Because then when he started to...
You do not agree on that.
No, but he
didn't
didn't agree with that. No, he didn't.
That's why he did not continue.
That's why he didn't continue.
Because there is a disagreement between you both on the fundamental of the debate. So he said, okay, so let us not take the logic, take other things. And he asked
he wasn't being honest though, brother, because he's saying that.
Am I being honest?
No, you're being honest, but he's not being honest.
I'm being honest. Can I tell you honestly?
He's not being honest, no.
I would say that logic, objectiveness, call it reasoning, call it whatever you want, there is finally always one truth.
Right. Here's the Bible. You're a Muslim.
The question should be that we need to ask ourselves, how would I know that this is truth? And this I'm asking it for you, for myself, for you, for everyone. Okay? From your perspective, reasoning should not be the criteria. Why? Because you think that even if 1 + 1 = 2, this might be biased because I'm a Muslim or not.
No.
I don't agree with that.
No, that epistemology is foundationalist epistemology, right? There are weaknesses with that epistemology. When you say 1 + 1, right, it implies causation. It implies that there's one effect to another effect, right? That's an assumption, right? Because you're assuming reality. So foundationalism has weaknesses. There was a famous philosopher by David Hume who took that position, and then he realized it doesn't work, because when I look down at the structures of nature, when I see a reaction, there's deeper things going on in that reaction that I can't see. And in quantum physics, we see that it's not 1 + 1. There's actually things that we can't see in reaction. So foundationalism it has weaknesses, you see. Presupposition. Listen to me. You're not listening. Presuppositionalism says you have to have a worldview to understand reality, right? So when I use 1 + 1, my presupposition is God, the Trinity, right? And that's my presupposition. And let me finish. Let me finish.
No, because you thought that 1 + 1 was like, I was preparing for the 1 + 1.
Let me explain. I'm explaining. Why won't you let me explain the epistemology?
Because I want to stay on the point that 10 + 10 = 20. Even a kid knows it. So there is a reality.
Yeah, but it's not completely objective.
Why?
Because
don't call it objective. Call it otherwise.
Let me explain to you why. Right? I've tried to explain to you, right? In the theory of knowledge, the epistemology, right?
It's a theory, okay.
Right. When an atheist uses 1 + 1 and uses logic, the law of non-contradiction, an atheist, right, who says he's objective, he has to borrow from the Christian worldview to use logic. Logic's immaterial. Listen, logic's immaterial. The atheist is a materialist mainly, most of them. So when they're using logic, right, they're borrowing from the Christian worldview. So even when you're using 1 + 1 as an atheist, listen, you've got to borrow from my worldview because you're using logic, which is immaterial. You need my worldview. So it's not objective in the sense that the atheist can't say, I'm objective using reason. No, you can't even use reason without accepting my worldview. Now, as a Muslim, when you're saying you're using logic, you're not just using logic. The Quran is your foundation. And listen. Every time you read the Bible, you are not just using logic. You are using circular reasoning. The Bible's not true because the Quran says so. That's circular reasoning, right? You're not using logic. You're picking bits of the Bible says, I don't agree with the Trinity. That's what he would have said. I don't agree with the Trinity. It's not logical. No, you don't agree with the Trinity, not because it's not logical. It's because you're picking verses that you like from the Bible, leaving verses that you don't like, because the Quran says Allah has no son, he has no partners. So your logic is biased. Do you see what I'm saying, brother? It's not a case of 1 + 1.
I can see.
Do you see what I'm getting at? And why I'm getting excited? Listen.
I will repeat for you.
Let me finish. Why I get excited? Why I'm getting excited and got excited with him is because what I'm saying is fair, and he wouldn't even let me explain it, and he wouldn't explain it back to me. Now you can explain it.
What you are saying.
Is that correct or not?
So.
Is it correct or not?
So, what you are saying.
Yeah.
Is that I will go and pick up verses from the Quran that will come and contradict the Bible.
Yeah.
And I'm using this as a reason.
Yeah, not your logic.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what you are saying.
Yeah, yeah, but the Muslim will try to pretend to be logical.
Wait. I love to speak.
All right, go on, bro.
So, assuming that there is a revelation.
Yeah.
And God is revealing to me what is wrong in Christianity and Judaism, and assuming that Quran is the last revelation.
Right.
Okay?
You're assuming?
I'm assuming.
Right, okay.
Right? Wouldn't, with this assumption, natural to have signs versus indications, what is not good, what is not true in the other revelations? It would be, right? It would be.
Right.
I mean,
if you're assuming.
I'm assuming.
Right.
Okay, so it is natural to have or to find contradiction under this assumption, right? So again, the question will always persist, is how would I know that this revelation is the true one or not?
Because we take your revelation, we take your worldview, I've got logic, you've got logic.
Forget about the logic.
No, listen.
No, you said you need to forget about the logic, because the logic itself is saying
Let me finish.
that if there is any contradiction,
Let me finish.
it should be shown in the Quran.
Let me finish.
Right?
So now, you've got your worldview, I've got my worldview.
Yeah.
Now we can compare them and see whether they are internally consistent, first of all.
Okay.
Right?
In a lot of...
So I look at the Quran, and the Quran says, read the Torah, read the Injil.
Yes.
Right? It says if you want to know if Muhammad is true, go to the people of the book. Right? So now wait a minute.
No, it's nothing like that.
It does say that.
No.
It does say that.
Ahl al-Dhikri, they do not say Ahl al-Kitab, Ahl al-Dhikri, the one who knows.
Right, here. Right, here. Surah 3:48, Surah 6:12, Surah 3:49:50, Surah 19:12, Surah 5:113-14, Surah 3:52-53, Surah 34:31, Surah 35:31, Surah 10:37. All these verses, Surah 69:20, Surah 46:12, Surah 29:30, Surah 2:91, Surah 3:3, Surah 4:112, Surah 53:33-38, Surah 26:192. That's only a small portion. Those surahs say Jesus has the Torah. Jesus teaches the Torah and the Injil. Those verses say there were true Christians in the time of Muhammad. Those surahs. Those surahs. Wait. Those surahs say. Wait a minute. Those surahs, Torah and the Gospel say.
I know that there is a lot of
let me finish. The Quran, the Bible, the Torah and the Gospel's not changed. Those surahs say anybody who questions Muhammad, go to the Torah and the Injil. These are all the verses. So now, I take your worldview, I have my worldview. You have your worldview, I have my worldview. I go to your worldview, I see if there's any internal contradiction. I see an internal contradiction here. It's telling me to read the... Wait a minute. Let me finish.
I don't want to go into details because I always want to know that...
Right, I'm trying to...
Which is what would be the criteria, and from your perspective...
I've just told you the criteria.
Exactly.
I go into your worldview...
You need to look in each revelation
and look for internal critique
and see what is coherent by itself.
Yeah.
Right? And in addition to that, you can go and see if there is any historical facts that can prove that, right?
No, but there's something else. In order for us to engage, right, you've got to be willing to look at my worldview and see my worldview from my worldview to see if it contradicts. And then you've got to be willing for you to go into your worldview and see whether what I'm saying, if there is internal contradiction. And this discussion with him, you're friendly and open. In order for it to be fruitful discussion, there has to be a willingness to be open to see which worldview is consistent, right?
And I think this is what we need to do.
No, he wasn't doing that at all. He was dishonest. He was dishonest.
It was nice to meet you.
He was completely dishonest. Anyone who knows epistemology knows he was dishonest. Every Muslim looks at the Bible with the Quran. No objectivity, JC.
So wrap up with that conversation. What happened there with that conversation?
So he's trying to sort of back up this guy, right?
Okay.
You can't just come to the Bible as a Muslim with objective reasoning. You've got a worldview. So when you say you're coming with objective reason, no, you've got a worldview. And we need to look at that worldview and see if it's consistent. And you can see my worldview, see if it's consistent. In the Quran, it says Allah has hands and feet. It says that Allah is nothing like his creation. There's an inconsistency within that revelation. It's not a revelation, right? It says the Quran is eternal. There's an inconsistency there. Allah is one, but yet there's an eternal Quran, which means you've got two gods. So if he wants to use logic, let's use logic with our worldviews. I look at his worldview and there's contradictions. So he can look at my worldview and try and find contradictions, but he's got to be willing to let me look at his worldview. And then when we look at his worldview, the Quran says read the Bible's not been corrupted, and yet Muslims said the Bible's been corrupted, so there's another contradiction in their worldview. So you're not just coming objectively, you're looking at evidence from your worldview, and you've got to be willing to engage by saying, I'll let you come to my worldview as well. He just wanted to come to the Bible and say we're objective in our logic and then have a field day in criticizing the Bible, and I wouldn't let him. And when I asked him, is he a Muslim, he ran away. And this chap was struggling. He was trying to find a way to get back to this guy, but in the end, he's a Muslim and he will look at the evidence as a Muslim, and that's the point. And they don't want to accept it. They want to say they're objective. They're not objective. It's not true.